Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcast. How do you let go of an employee when it's really hard to find employees and the employees basically have the leverage and you don't want to go through the process of finding another person? Like, how do you, what's the best advice? How do you go through this?
Oh, man. Well, in my opinion, the best advice I have is pull the Band-Aid off, rip it off and get after it. Generally speaking, it's not as hard to replace, it's not going to be as difficult as you think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one bit of advice. I'll let you vote on which one you prefer. The second one is play it really, really smart. You know that person's out of here, but you're not going to get rid of them until you've found their replacement.
Yeah.
So there you
Well,
go.
but that
Which
kind of
one?
goes against something that we believe, that if you do lose somebody, don't hire back, because see if you can do it
Right.
without them, right? To reduce the overhead costs.
Yeah.
But obviously
You're
there's critical roles where it's like, no, like we won't function if this person's not here.
yeah. Yeah, it takes enough people to do it. But I think our role is to try to simplify things for our listeners.
Yeah.
And we've simplicated things. We took 3 simple things and gave choices.
Okay. So we did an episode. Please don't go back and listen to it, listeners. Episode 59, when you know they need to go, which is kind of in line with this topic. That was, I believe, before we were really doing video podcasts.
Yeah.
So
Did you say don't go back?
yeah, I don't know what the quality of it is.
Well,
Just
hey,
this replaces that episode. So I think let's set the stage, right? You have, I mean, the situation you were talking to me about is a little bit interesting because it's not just one person. And so I think that's maybe a different topic. But let's say it is just one person. What are the consequences of keeping that person around longer? Why do you say keep the Band-Aid or rip the Band-Aid off?
because you're suffering 80% likelihood that the subject employee is suffering.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I've let people go who were absolutely blindsided. And I've been talking to them, trying to correct their action for almost almost a year. And when I finally pulled the trigger, really didn't have any clue. It was like, seriously? But I forgot how'd you phrase your question?
No.
How do you decide?
Yeah. Why do you think they should rip the Band-Aid rather than?
As opposed to, letting things drag out is, what's the benefit of letting things drag out? I don't see one. What's
It
the
could change.
damage?
Like
Is
it could get better. It's
that the
it's a
person
rough
could
season
change?
right now. I don't know if we're going to be able to find a replacement, right?
I wish I'd printed off that article because I had a whole lot of reasons that we don't let people go, and I may miss some if I think about it. The general overall thing is, what is the benefit of waiting? If it's that you think they'll change, the preponderance of the evidence says no, they won't. That's just my experience, my reading experience. Man, we're going to have on from the Gallup organization did a study on that. And so you're letting it drag out. It's occupying your mind. Perhaps it rises to the place that you're staying awake a few nights out of the week. You're suffering and you're not replacing. You've still got a square wheel out there. So you've got to get a round wheel on there and improve things.
But they've been so good for us.
So
we wouldn't be where we are without them.
Well, if that's true, what do you consider letting them go for? Did they suddenly get bad, or is it everybody just likes them?
Yeah.
We've also talked recently about getting overhead down, which you referred to. If somebody leaves, don't replace them right away. Well, if you've got somebody around whose principal role is to entertain everybody and be the good guy, you might start looking at the money you're not making.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think really helpful book for me with this is called Not Unnecessary. It's called necessary
That's,
evils.
yeah.
And there's
Cloud.
seasonality to some of this. We wouldn't be where we are without them. That's wonderful. But you were in a different season before where you are today. You know, you're triple the size you were whenever they started, right? Your business has different needs at this point, and you're carrying dead weight, right? That's a really good thing to understand, that there's seasonality to some of this stuff. I think nothing will, what's the phrase you say? Nothing will make you lose a good employee than tolerating.
Yeah.
I'm
Nothing will ruin a good employee faster than watching you tolerate a bad employee.
There you go. Much, much better said. I think also
I'm quoting somebody. I just don't know who.
anonymous. So with that, you're ruining your culture by tolerating that by tolerating the employee. If you notice it as the owner, and you probably have minimal interaction compared to some of your team members with this person, everyone else notices it too. You're not alone, right? And I think that if you don't rip off the Band-Aid, maybe you're letting a wound fester and get infected underneath the Band-Aid because it's staying on too long, right? You just got to rip it off so that you can actually treat what's the illness underneath there. I think Mike Andes, we just had on the podcast, he has a really great point about culture. Like, you set your culture by how you fire, right? It's not all the great things that you do and the values you have and behaviors. It's what you don't tolerate that sets your culture, right? Yeah. And by you tolerating this person staying on and staying around, you're setting the standards for your culture.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes is Brian Tracy on that. He said, your values reveal what you will tolerate. Or, more importantly, they show immediately what you won't tolerate. And that's pretty insightful.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you, so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, might be there, might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.